Hi, I'm Mega Wulandari from Sanata Dharma University. In this video, I will guide you how to develop strong research questions, and they are function to guide your reading and thinking. A good research question is really like a lighthouse. It's essential to guide your research because it pinpoints exactly what you want to find out and gives your work a clear focus and purpose. Without further ado, here are 5 steps to develop strong research questions. Step 1. Choose a broad topic. Go with a topic that sparks your interest and curiosity because you will be spending quite some time with it. For me, I'm thinking maybe something about home learning strategy. Step 2. Do some preliminary reading to find out about the topic. Okay, so I've read a lot of newspaper writing about how some schools in Indonesia are facing challenges when implementing home learning strategy during pandemic. Step 3. Narrow down a specific niche that you want to focus on. This way, you can make sure that the research is within feasible scope instead of something too broad to achieve in a given time frame. Since schools are too broad, let me narrow it down to one high school in Yogyakarta and only focus on English teachers' challenges and practical techniques. Step 4. Identify a practical or theoretical research problem that you will address. Since the COVID-19 pandemic took the world by surprise, everything has stopped. Workplaces closed and schools shut down. However, students continue their education through online learning and via video calls with their teachers. The model is currently the best alternative as keeping schools open poses a safety risk for students. But questions come up. Does this model run smoothly? What kind of challenges do the English teachers encounter? How do they cope with it? Step 5. Write your research questions. Turning your research problem into questions. So, my research question will be, what challenges do the English teachers at School X encounter when implementing home learning strategy during pandemic? Since this is a descriptive research, the research questions are also descriptive. But there are also other kinds of research questions. It all depends on what kind of research you will do. For example, comparative research. What are the differences and similarities between X and Y? Correlational research. What is the relationship between variable X and variable Y? Exploratory research. What are the main factors in X? What is the role of Y in Z? Experimental research. Does X have effect on Y? What is the impact of Y on Z? What are the causes of X? How effective is Z? Evaluation research. What are the advantages and disadvantages of X? How well does Y work? Action research. How can X be achieved? What are the most effective strategies to improve Y? Now we have a research question. But how do you know if your research questions are good or not? Here's a checklist for you. A good research question should be focused, researchable, feasible, specific, complex, and relevant. A good research question should be focused. Let's get back to the example again. What challenges do the English teachers at School X encounter when implementing home learning strategy during pandemic? This question focuses on a single problem of teachers' challenges when implementing home learning strategy of high school students. It should be researchable. That means the answer to your question can be found by collecting empirical data or through existing literature. In our case, we can go for a qualitative approach, like interviewing the teachers to dig out on the challenges they encounter. It needs to be feasible. So, is it doable within a certain time frame? Do you have access to the data you need or the right kind of respondents? You should also consider the situation. If school shuts down, you might not be able to collect data on students' attitude in the classroom. Be specific. All the terms you use in the RQ should have clear meaning. What challenges do the teachers at School X encounter when implementing home learning strategy during pandemic? Notice how I use teachers at School X and during pandemic to show specific respondents and given time frame. The research question should also be complex. If the research question can be answered with just yes or no, or with easily found facts which we can find on Google, that is a search, not a research, because it's not complex enough. Last but not least, make sure your problem is relevant to your field of study. Since you are going to graduate as a Bachelor of Education, specifically in the English field, so you need to find a topic that is relevant to your field of study and to society. It also targets a currently unanswered question and contribute knowledge to the future research that can build on. Now, keep in mind, in an essay, you will usually write only one research question. But for a bigger project like a thesis, you can develop multiple research questions around the same topic. For example, I can also ask, what practical techniques can the English teachers at School X use to better guide students during home learning? Follow the steps and checklists and you'll end up with a research question as a solid foundation for your research. Make sure you also watch the other videos on Research Proposal video series. Good luck writing!